You ever feel like things are not going your way? Like you feel kind of like you're beat up, like you're just not enjoying the reality you're experiencing. Well, I want to invite you to try a quick 15-second reframe, which can totally change your experience of reality. And to show you how to do this, I'm going to highlight a quick story. So I was in Barbados and I was going to this coffee shop each morning. And I noticed the barista she seemed like she was feeling kind of down, or she was a little depressed. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, what should I see while I'm here on the island?" And she said, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, what do you mean you don't know? Or you're from here, aren't you?" And she said, "Oh, I've lived here my whole life." And I said, "Well, how is it that you've lived here your whole life and you don't know what there is to see here?" And she said, "I'm working a nursing job, or I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm going to nursing school. And I just don't have time to do anything. All I do is work and sleep." And so I went away from that and I said, what could I say to her? How could I shift her experience of life right now? Because she's clearly going through it and it's clearly difficult. So the next morning when I came, I went up to the window. I said, one day in the not too distant future, when you've finished nursing school and you have a good nursing job, you're going to be sitting somewhere up on the mountain with your family having a picnic. And you're going to think back between then and now, and you're going to realize it was all worth it. That all of this was worth it. And I took my coffee and I left. And I came back the next morning and I said, "How are you doing today?" And she said, "I'm just climbing that mountain." So what I did, and what you can do in as little as 15 seconds, is to notice how you're feeling. Ask yourself, what are you thinking about? What are you looping on? What's the thing that you keep telling yourself? It's almost like a story. Like, I don't have time to do anything because I work 2 jobs and I'm going to nursing school. So notice the story that you're telling yourself. And then ask yourself, what story could you tell yourself that would change everything? That would change your experience of what's going on? And once you have it, try it. Instead of telling yourself the old story, tell yourself the new story and see how your life starts to shift. Because the reality is we're story-driven machines. We're narrative-driven machines. Things happen and we tell ourselves stories about them and what they mean. Those stories have a tremendous impact on our experience of reality and how we feel. This is something I do with clients. It's a very quick way to shift how you feel. And I'd invite you to do it. And then to come back and let me know how it worked.